Right now, let's go to Joe Rogan.
Thanks, Bruce. I'm back here right now backstage. I'll be interviewing the fighters as they come out of the octagon.
Before Joe Rogan went from telling hot girls to eat spiders on Fear Factor to the face of the UFC, winning Best TV Announcer and Personality of the Year 4 times at the World MMA Awards.
You are a funny man, by the way.
Thank you. You're funny too. Sometimes unintentionally.
Before Joe Rogan proved how productive potheads can be, creating his own podcast, TV shows, commentating on sports, and releasing comedy specials, bringing his net worth to an estimated $23 million.
I was thinking, what if me to me is the same as me to a dolphin? The way you think of yourself when you say the word me? I was like, what if that's exactly how a dolphin feels?
Before his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience would become syndicated on Sirius XM.
No, but I just
Nobody
appreciate
takes me
you.
seriously. It's a great way to. It's a great position to be in.
Before UFC 209 announced that they would have a 3-man broadcast team once again, made up of Joe Rogan, Dominic Cruz, and John Anik.
Can I wrestle Joe Rogan, and if I win, you come to Sweden?
Huh? Sure, get up here, bitch.
Joe Rogan was raised by a hippie mom and stated that he had an unstable childhood, but that didn't stop him from becoming a master at Taekwondo and Jiu-Jitsu. Martial arts were the only thing that made Rogan feel like he wasn't a loser, but after he started getting frequent headaches from all the blows to his skull, he'd have to decide what was more important, his health or his black belt, and what else he was going to do with his future.
From the time I got out of high school, I never had a full-time job. I had a bunch of part-time jobs.
What's going on, guys? My name is Michael McCrudden, documenting the life and career of Joe Rogan prior to fame, here for you on Before They're Famous. Now, we've done videos on his boss, Dana White, and a ton of UFC champions, including Nate Diaz and Amanda Nunes. Be sure to check those out and let us know, as always, in the comments down below, who you want me to document next.
I date a lot of bimbos, man. It's like one of my biggest problems.
Joseph James Joe Rogan was born on August 11, 1967 in Newark, New Jersey. He's of Italian and Irish descent. His father Joseph worked as a police officer in Newark, and his mother was a bit of a free spirit. Needless to say, the two had a very different outlook on life. After dealing with his father's violent outburst for years, his mother finally divorced when Joe was 5. That was the last time Joe ever heard from his dad. That year, he moved with his mother to San Francisco, then Florida, and finally Newton Upper Falls, Massachusetts. There, Joe attended Newton School High School. As a kid, he suffered from anxiety and a lack of confidence. He didn't like to talk to people, but quickly found an outlet when he got involved in martial arts. As for school, well, he wasn't that big of a fan.
Man, I squoze through high school with like a C average in most things. I barely got by.
The only class in which he truly enjoyed was art, and he had plans of becoming a comic book illustrator. By 14, he had picked up karate, kickboxing, and taekwondo, which was quickly consuming his life. He began gaining confidence and was actually so good, his teacher was throwing him in with more advanced students, even black belts. Soon he earned his own black belt and won the US Open Lightweight Championship when he was just 19. It was looking like he had a promising future in kicking ass and went on to be a 4-time state champion. But things came to a screeching halt when he was just 21. Rogan started to get severe headaches and it spooked him. As much as he liked to fight, his health was more important to him, so he hung up his belt. Looking for a new dream to chase, Joe went to the University of Massachusetts, not because he wanted a traditional career, but because he didn't want people to think he was a loser. But still, he went to the gym and joked around with his sparring buddies all the time. They convinced him to try stand-up comedy when he was 21, and after 6 months of prep, he did his first routine on August 27, 1988. Just like that, comedy became his new passion. He even dropped out of university because he had better things to learn anyway.
What? Marijuana makes how much in fucking taxes for Colorado? They make how much for, we're running out of fucking money for schools and we could pay for that with weed.
While he worked on his stand-up, Rogan worked teaching martial arts, delivering newspapers, driving a limousine, doing construction, and helping out a private investigator. After 2 years, he was spotted by a talent manager and moved to New York and became a full-time comedian. The only problem was, he wasn't making any money. He was living with his granddad and scraping by for years before ditching New York for LA. He made his first TV appearance on an MTV comedy show, and the network offered him an exclusive contract. Rogan turned down MTV and took a deal with Disney instead. Yeah, you heard that right. Disney. I guess they didn't know he was a pothead. His first real acting role was on the sitcom Hardball, then the sitcom News Radio, and he continued to stand up on the side. He didn't really like how repetitive acting was, but it paid the rent well and allowed him to pursue his real passions. By '97 he was working for the UFC, but stopped 2 years later when they couldn't cover his travel costs. In the meantime, he released his first comedy special in 2000, then signed up to host Fear Factor, a show that would make him a household name.
I was highly lit up on marijuana. I mean, I was lit up.
You used to shoot that show high all the
I would
time?
do every episode high as fuck. So high sometimes that I forget how to talk right.
Then when the UFC was bought out, he had a job with them again. Initially he wanted to go to the games and just drink, but that Dana White, he's a persuasive guy. As for the rest of the story, well, you know the story because this is Before They Were Famous. My name is Michael McCrudden and we make a lot of bio videos here for you on this channel. We've done nearly 1,000. We've done actors, rappers, YouTubers, porn stars, basically anybody who's anybody. So be sure to browse around, hit subscribe, and let me know who's next in the comments down below. Also, Joe Rogan, if you're watching this, hey man, follow me on Twitter. I'll follow